Hi guys, thanks for staying around. I know the whales are out there. I'm actually going to be pretty quick because I just kind of put something together for you guys pretty quickly. So anyways, so my name's Rachel. Obviously, I'm from Empty the Tanks. So I just wanted to throw this in there because I know I actually just got here last night. But my impression is everybody's been talking about the blackfish effect. And for those who don't know, Empty the Tank started after my first trip to Taiji, where the dolphin slaughter takes place at the Cove in 2013. And seeing that connection with the dolphin slaughters and the dolphin captures, I wanted to do something more. And so I came home and I started this campaign and this event called Empty the Tanks. And we actually had the first annual Empty the Tanks the same weekend as the US premiere of Blackfish. It was just kind of a friend of mine, Suzanne Michelle Ali, who was in Blackfish as well, she kind of had that idea. And so I actually remember that was the first time I met Jeff Ventry, was at the Seattle premiere. So anyway, the first Empty the Tanks happened the same year as Blackfish, and we kind of just continued to grow it from there. So in 2013, the event, I had the idea originally just to do the 3 SeaWorld locations in the US on one day, because nobody had ever done that before. And it ended up growing to 21 locations in 12 countries. And then this year, in 2018, it grew to its largest event. So on one single day, this year, we had 70 locations in 21 countries all participating, which was really good. Thanks. It was really an amazing event. It takes a lot of work to put it together, but it's always worth it. And so the big update with Empty the Tanks is that as of February this year, I actually got the nonprofit status. Nice. So I applied and wanted to do a little bit more than what I have been doing with the annual event. So essentially the mission is that, using education and awareness to end cetacean captivity and promote ocean conservation worldwide. Because one of the things that I really wanted to bring into the conversation is ocean conservation. Because a lot of the times we're talking about ending captivity, but if we want to end captivity and keep dolphin and whales out of tanks, we have to give them a healthy habitat to thrive in. Because, it's just like with some other animals in the world, like elephants, if they're being poached at these insane rates in their natural habitats, there's nowhere safe for them to live. So we've got to do more for the natural habitats. And I really wanted to start kind of bridging that gap and bringing that into this conversational piece, because ocean conservation is a big passion for me. So starting in the fall, for those that don't know, my husband and I just finished our school bus conversion, and that's why we didn't get here until last night. So it's on its maiden voyage, and so we basically are going to be traveling the country. And as we're traveling the country, I'm going to be setting up appointments and going into schools around the country and doing these free programs and talking to kids of all ages about ocean conservation, single-use plastic, reef-safe sunscreen, proper tide pool etiquette, because I am not into that. We're inhuman, so we can just manhandle and grab anything and everything we see in the tide pools. So just having these conversations with kids, because I want to empower the next generation to stand up basically and say, I'm saving our oceans for my future. Because even if the adults around them aren't choosing to do these things, doesn't matter if the child is 5 years old or 17 years old, they can say no to a plastic straw at the restaurant. They can choose not to swim with dolphins when they go on vacation to spring break or something. So that's one of the biggest things that we're going to be doing moving forward with Empty the Tanks, is creating these education programs. And in every single one, we will also be talking about captivity, of course, because that's still at the very core of the mission. Some of the other things we've been working on is, for those who don't know, Coral World in the US Virgin Islands, they've applied, they want to bring dolphins to their island. They feel like they're losing tourism money to the other islands that have these dolphin swim with programs. So I've been trying to work with some of the local activists who are concerned about the situation and seeing how we can help with that situation and not have the dolphins end up there. The place that they want to put the dolphins in, I'm under the impression from the information from the locals there, is that the area is often contaminated and not safe for fishing or swimming, and yet they want to put dolphins in this particular place. So that's obviously, there's got to be some way around to keep that from happening. And then the other one, of course, is the new Gulfport Aquarium, which they have dolphin tanks being built, and they will be putting dolphins in there And unfortunately, the mayor and the city council, everybody's very excited about this. They see it as jobs and tourism. So I'm actually working on a very large event. It's going to be kind of a multi-organizational event. So keep an eye out for that, because we'd like to create something that happens in Gulfport that will essentially be like the event to be at of the year, like that massive Lolita March several years ago where so many people came to. We want to really try to do something along those lines in Gulfport and really show the mayor that this is the tourism that they will be losing because they're going to be bringing dolphins into their city. The other big thing that we're not announcing too many of the specifics yet, but we are going to be increasing the work we're doing in Mexico. We've got a really great representative that has been doing the Empty the Tanks events in Mexico. And so that's the state that I cannot pronounce, but it's the area that has like Cancun and those really high tourism spring break areas where people go and they swim with dolphins. And we're going to be doing some more work specifically in that area, talking to spring breakers, really bringing in more education and getting people to end that participation of those programs. And we've got some other really cool things that we're doing. We just can't announce it just yet, so look for that sort of further announcement of what we're going to be doing in Mexico. And I'm kind of rushing this because I know everybody wants to go. So anyway, if you guys haven't, please check out the social media pages. That's where we've got all of our updates. We're obviously a very new nonprofit, still wanting to work with all the other nonprofits and support them, just wanting to find a way to do a little bit more than what Empty the Tanks has been doing. And then, as is sort of tradition, if this will play, I think I've been doing the presentations here. I don't know if this is my 5th one or something like that. I started off at Sandburg, the rented house, years ago. But sort of the tradition is I always show the video, the compilation video of all of the Empty the Tanks events that happened. And so, because I added it into here and it doesn't seem to be working, so give me just a quick second here too. Oh, I know, the puffins. I'm sorry it's not orcas, guys, but I saw their picture on Shutterstock and it was so cute. I had to add it.
Did you watch Dirty Dancing on the bus?
I watched Dirty Dancing while I was packing stuff, I think is what I was doing that. Oh yeah, my whole computer is up there. That's okay, guys, there's nothing on there. Okay, so here is the 6th annual Empty the Tanks Worldwide event. Just so you guys know, Empty the Tanks always happens on the Saturday of Mother's Day weekend every year. That is our kind of designated time that we do our event. So please stay tuned for obviously the next one next year. And here is the video for this year, the largest Empty the Tanks we've ever had.
Basta de circos marinos, basta de animales
So I just want to point out that this year, one of the coolest things about this year's event is that we did have an event in Taiji, and that I think is really impactful. I actually just went back to Taiji again this past November for 3 weeks, and with the Dolphin Project, as one of the Cove monitors, and it was definitely a reminder of exactly why I came home from Taiji that very first time and started Empty the Tanks, because it's all still the same. The dolphins are still there. And currently right now, because they're not hunting the dolphins get brought out into the cove, the same cove that they were taken from, the same cove that their family was killed from, and they are in a little pen and people swim around with them, and it's just a big fun vacation at the beach for people. So it's really important to continue the education, which is why we're going to try to bring more of this conversation into schools, but talking more about the ocean stuff as well, and trying to just bring the whole conversation into one. So, and also all of those events, the other cool thing is that they all happen on that same day, that same Saturday of Mother's Day weekend, and all those people standing up together on a single day of action for dolphins and whales. So thanks for everybody who goes to them, plans them, and attends them, and supported Empty the Tanks all these years. I think Jeff Venture's the biggest fan.